Buster's was unusually quiet, even for a Tuesday evening, which allowed Karma a chance to catch up on her homework, but also had a way of making the evening stretch to an interminable length. She was trying to make headway with her forensic accounting class when Jubilee, who was really regular old Judy, while not dancing, came to the bar. Karma looked up at the only dancer on duty, quirking a brow. "What can I do for you?" "Scotch on the rocks." She kept her expression blank as she moved away from her laptop, setting it carefully under the bar where it was less likely to have anything spilled on it in the process of serving drinks, and turned to make the dancers drink. She never drank on shift herself, and that was for two reasons. The first being it was a bad idea to lose any sense of control while working at a strip club, and the second was because Mike Buster did not give any of his employees a discount on drinks, and since he marked them up ridiculously so, to her it made no sense to work an hour just to buy his crappy watered-down alcohol. Not that the top-shelf stuff was watered down, of course, but with the prices he set, that was more than an hour's wage for her, and probably at least 2 dances for Jubilee. So she winced when the other girl called out, "No, the good stuff, honey," when she reached for the cheaper brand. With a quiet click of her tongue, knowing the other woman wouldn't care about her disapproval or prudent financial advice, she reached for the other brand instead. She poured Judy a generous shot plus some and recorded on the clipboard where her fellow employee had ordered a drink. As she turned around to serve Jubilee, the door opened and her eyes widened when a handsome white guy stepped inside. Handsome wasn't really the right word. He was tall and solidly built, with muscles that probably had muscles, though it was difficult to tell underneath the leather jacket he wore. His face was sharp and angular, but perfectly formed, and all topped by lush dark hair that invited her fingers to run through it. When Jubilee cleared her throat, she realized she was still holding out the drink, and she looked away from the new arrival to give it to her. "He's yummy, isn't he?" asked the giggly redhead, before neatly tossing back her scotch on the rocks. Definitely not a local. With that pricey leather jacket, his clearly expensive haircut, and just the way he moved and the way he was built, definitely indicated he wasn't a small-town Kansas boy. Definitely not. She murmured the agreement softly before shooing Judy away as the customer approached the bar. Karma gave him a small smile as he sat down on the stool, feeling unaccountably flustered. Having worked as the bartender and bookkeeper for Buster's for the last 3 years, she had dealt with a multitude of customers of all types, so it shouldn't upset her equilibrium to serve someone new. It wasn't as though they never had out-of-towners stopping by for a drink. On weekends, Buster's drew quite a crowd from the Tri-County area and sometimes even beyond. They just never seemed to attract men like this. "What will you have?" "Whiskey with a side of brown sugar," he said, and his voice was as masculine as the rest of him. She turned to retrieve the top-shelf whiskey, knowing instinctively that's what he would prefer. She poured him a shot before setting the bottle on the bar and sliding the glass to him. "There's your whiskey, but I'm afraid I have no brown sugar." "That's not what I see, sugar." He winked at her before he took the shot.